Hey guys, I'm here just to do a very quick VR, and that VR is to Ollie, aka 8BitBoyUK. Ollie has asked the question, are you a Master System monster? And I think the qualifying criteria is to have at least 100 games. So yeah, I'll kind of whiz you through my collection as it stands, and then I'm going to pick out 5 games to talk to. See you in a second. So here we go, a bit of a whiz through the games in the collection. A bit of a monster. Kind of curves around just to fit it on the top. A very quick run through of the titles. If you like, I guess notable standouts. It's creeping up in value like you would not believe. Nice looking cover. I always think something that's a bit different from the norm. You know, the typical kind of Master System grid, the white kind of sleeve. Again, I mean, some of the, not necessarily a very expensive game, but just kind of iconic. Hang on, a bit like the kart version. Bit of the Rage, the Hulk. Again, look at that. Absolutely like beautiful cover. A classic I played on many a system. Operation Wolf. True arcade game. Outrun, what a classic. Awesome platformer. See the sequel to Bubble Bobble. Bit quite different in style. See, not as good as the Mega Drive or the Genesis version, but still pretty awesome. Lovely cover art. Yeah, cracking game. Bit of Rocky Balboa. Apollo Creed. The Russian. It's Ivan Drago. Awesome. Yeah, the one that's in a slightly more protected case. Kind of my Smurfs. First Master System game I ever played. I know I've spoken about this many a time on the channel. But yeah, Shinobi, absolutely friggin' awesome. A couple of Sonics. Spider-Man games are a good crack, but again, the box art on the Sinister Six. Fantastic. See, it wouldn't be a Master System collection unless they had a bit of Chase HQ. A couple of versions of Xenon 2, I think that's the ImageWorks one, and then the Virgin Games. So that was a very quick 2-3 minute run through. Just going to grab 5 games and talk about them. See you in a sec. So I hope you enjoyed that run through. It literally was just a whiz through of all the games in the collection as it stands. There was a couple I realised afterwards that were kind of missing in other places, but not very many. That was the 99.9% of the collection. So I picked up 5 carts. Going to just say a few words about them. Not necessarily like top 5, just kind of 5 that means something to me, or I've got, you know, a little something to say about them. So I'll go through that, and at the end I'll answer Ollie's question, well, whether or not I think I'm a Master System monster. So without further ado, let's crack on. And I should say, yeah, apologies, I haven't uploaded anything for probably a couple of weeks now. I've had a stinking man flu. Shouldn't really grumble with all the shit and nastiness going on in various parts of the world, but yeah, it's kind of just knocked me for six. I did record this video, or part of this video, yesterday. Played it back, and I know it probably sounded a little nasally as it is, but I sounded bloody horrific. So I scrapped that, and I'm doing a take two. It's going to be the same old waffle, so don't worry about that. But let's crack on. First one probably needs no introduction. You know, as I deem it's probably one of the benchmarks in terms of shooters. An absolutely solid classic, and it really good, you know, port, good conversion for the Master System, so R-Type. And everything about this game, obviously everyone knows it well, you know, side-scrolling shooter, but just like the power-ups, the bosses, you know, a real tough level of difficulty, yet it can be rewarding. You can kind of nudge forward with practice. You know, you can get a little better every time you pick it up. And even, I mean, the big boss at the end of level 1, it's fairly iconic, isn't he? Absolute evil dude. So yeah, that's number 1. Yeah, I realised I've 3 of the 5, not really intentional, but I guess I do like my shooters. 3 of the 5 are shooters. So the next one is, it's kind of a bit of a polar opposite really to R-Type in terms of the, you know, the graphical style. It's a lot more upbeat, a lot more colourful. Soundtrack is quite, you know, buzzing and vibrant. A few little nuances, albeit it is kind of, you know, it's horizontal. You can kind of scroll around pretty much. You've got to get the kind of the medium-sized bosses, knock them out to get to the big boss, but then you're interrupted by small enemies that just trying to knock you senseless. There's like a shop feature as well in between levels, so you can go, you know, buy some stuff. Excuse me. Buy some stuff to kind of power up and upgrade. And yeah, it's just a classic. And again, it's a really, really good port for the Master System. It's probably going up a little bit in price, but it's not crazy money like, you know, some of the other titles. Particularly if you've got, like, you know, cart only. It's a real solid game. I've got it on the Astro City Mini. And to be honest, I mean, it's great on that's like a true arcade port, but if anything, it shows how well this one, you know, stands up. Right, sorry about that. I was choking up a lung. Pop downstairs. A bit of lubrication. A bit of Geordie juice. Put that to one side. Right. So we've done R-Type, we've done Fantasy Zone. The third and final shooter in the collection of 5. Or selection of 5, I should say. And it's a new Master System game. It's a game I found out about through the Sega Master System Challenge. Ollie put up a link to a ROM, so you could kind of like legitimately or like legally go in and kind of play the game for the purpose of the challenge. But it's fairly rare, isn't it, these days, that companies put out new games for retro systems. I mean, I know there's been a few recently on the, you know, the Dreamcast and a couple of, you know, Mega Drive ones, but it's to be frank, I think it's, you know, it's few and far between. So I do like where I can to support. So I did buy a physical version of this one. So it's Flight of Pigarus, a really simple vertical shooter. There's only like a couple of levels. You've got 2 settings, which are a change in the time between 2 and 5 minutes. But the objective really is to get through the 2 levels before your time runs out. Excuse me. Really, the only kind of stumbling blocks are when you reach, you know, the bosses. So, you know, if you kind of dwindle a little bit and the end of kind of level 1 boss, then, you know, you're going to have lesser time when you go into level 2, and again at the end of, you know, level 2, you've got to get that boss in good time. So, you know, it can be done. I've done it like, you know, a couple of times, but it's not like hugely taxing, because I'm not a bloody maestro at shmups, that's for sure. But it's just like really enjoyable. It's nicely drawn. Really cool like bosses. Cool little weapons, power-ups. And yeah, like I say, it's just good to, I think, support an indie developer. So that's Flight Pigarus. Let's have another slurp, just to avoid potential coughs, which will probably come anyway. So yeah, this one, I mean, it's an absolute iconic game, but particularly on the Master System, very good timing with what's up behind me. It's Outrun. And I think, you know, for the first time back in the day, bringing this home, sticking it in the Master System, I felt pretty close to bringing the arcade, you know, home with me. The closest that I'd ever felt at that point. I'd only had, like, you know, Micro Systems, a couple of other Master System games, but nothing that was kind of touched on the arcades quite like this one did. Excuse me. And I know that, you know, there's the Saturn version is more kind of, you know, arcade true, but if you think about the constraints of the Master System, you know, 2 meg bloody cart, I think they did a really, really good job on this. And you never completed it. I think for the Master System Challenge, I got one of the furthest bits I'd ever got to, which is like the penultimate stage. I think I was literally just getting onto the final one and ran out of time. But yeah, that is really, really cool. Another quick slurp and perhaps a little more Geordie juice. Sounds wrong. And the fifth one is my newest game, and it's very special to me because it legitimately allows me to pass that criteria of having 100 Master System games and being a Master System monster. And it's all thanks to Ollie. He was on Swap Shop. He showed this game. There's a couple like locally to me that I've seen in a couple of shops, but the quality is always a bit crappy. One of them, like the manual's horrific and a bit hit and miss on eBay at the mo. So when he showed this, I was all over it. And we did a little swap for another game which I knew he needed on his list. So yeah, it was a bit of it was a win-win. Mortal Kombat. Yeah, who would have thought Mortal Kombat on an 8-bit system? I know you haven't played it yet. I know there's some few fans out there. Like Ollie, Retro Red Steve, absolutely digs this game. He's already sent me a few cheeky little codes that will hopefully allow me to surf my way through the levels. Yeah, and kick some ass. Nice little note from Ollie, which I'll keep in here. Not that I kind of forget its origins, but yeah, it's yeah, really, really nice. Superb condition. The manual's just like, yeah, it's crisp. Don't know where he gets his games from. I'd love to see his other one. This is his spare, because this is just like immaculate. Really, really nice for the hang tab, and yeah, all is good. So that's it. That is evidence. That's game 100. I am a Master System monster. Over and out, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.